Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Everybody talking about the brand new version of Iron Fist, the new Black Panther showing up in the MCU. So we'll explain what's going on because it was Comic-Con weekend when they dropped this trailer. It's just been so much stuff that it's taken me this long to actually get to it. But we will break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. The episodes for this featuring these characters are dropping on Friday all at once. There's 4 episodes total. I was also surprised to learn that Herbie here is actually a huge Iron Fist fan, so this should go pretty well. Primarily, this is all coming through the Black Panther lore. That's how they're encountering this new Iron Fist. It's not an Iron Fist-based series, it's just Iron Fist in a Black Panther series. There's not a ton of context clues in their scene in the trailer here, but it looks like just based on their suit that this is from the distant past, because we do see them jumping across a couple different eras during this trailer footage. Really good example of this phenomenon is the version of Black Panther that shows up during this. Doesn't their suit seem more advanced? Now, this is Wakanda, and they have advanced technology in the past, so that doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening in the future. They're just giving that kind of vibe in the trailer. There's only 4 episodes total, so I believe they visit a different era in each episode. The actual Black Panther episode, where we see this version of Black Panther, might not be till like the last episode, where they jump to the future of Wakanda. Marvel has not said that much about the actual series, the actual characters themselves. They're just mostly releasing vibes trailers like just check out all this crazy stuff. Probably because they're dropping all these episodes at once, so people won't have to wait that long to actually see what's going on. I'm not totally sure how to pronounce her name correctly, but Jonah Zhao seems like she's the one that's playing this new version of Iron Fist. They didn't say which version she's playing, but it could be Wu Aoshi, just because she was canonically, at least up to a certain point, the first female Iron Fist during the 1500s. And there is a lot of this footage that seems like it takes place during that era in history. Canonically, that would also line up with a lot of MCU pre-existing lore that they're bringing in through the Iron Fist series with Danny Rand and Colleen Wing. If you remember, they recently canonized all of Daredevil to Daredevil Born Again, the MCU, and with it, all the Defenders stuff like Jessica Jones is coming on Daredevil Born Again Season 2. They basically bring all the Defenders back slowly. They implied that they're going to do the other Defenders at some point either during Season 2 or Season 3. We have all the John Bernthal Punisher stuff that they did during Season 1. They're bringing him back during Season 2, and they're filming that special presentation now. All that stuff is canon. So for the most part, if you're wondering, all the Marvel Netflix stuff is canon to the MCU now, which also now includes all the Iron Fist, Danny Rand, Colleen Wing stuff. There was a big question about how they were going to treat that. I think the idea is they're just treating it the same way they do with all the Jessica Jones, the Punisher stuff that they've done recently.
Frank Choi told us your mother's story. I've heard that story before, Colleen. In Kunlun, a story about the first woman to defeat the dragon. Her name was Wu Aoshi. You know her as the pirate queen of Pinghai Bay. A woman who may very well be your ancestor.
The way that Finn Jones, Danny Rand Iron Fist, explained it to her is that he gave her that medallion, the Iron Fist medallion, and said that the Iron Fist was her birthright because she came from that line of Iron Fist. She eventually does take the power of Iron Fist, and she and Danny Rand then share the role as the current version of Iron Fist at the end of that series. We only got a hot second of her because it was the very end of the series. This is Iron Fist Season 2. Had they done a Season 3, we would have seen much more of that. There was a whole bunch of Iron Fist lore that they were slowly pushing into had they eventually done a Season 3 before it all got canceled. They shut down all the Marvel Netflix series. Like they were going to do Orson Randall. That was where the bullets came from, also from the Immortal Iron Fist comic book. They really only just brushed up against a lot of the Iron Fist lore during the Iron Fist Netflix series and the other Marvel Netflix series. So it's just an untapped resource inside the MCU now. So that was why there was a lot of question when Marvel started doing all the new TV series on Disney Plus a couple years ago. Are they going to recast the Finn Jones version of Iron Fist in present day? There are a bunch of other versions of Iron Fist. We just got the What If Season 3 with a version of Iron Fist that showed up during the Shang-Chi episode. But the way they canonized that is they actually made it sound like it was Bruce Lee in real-life history, but during the 1800s. Like he was meant to be an Easter egg for the Bruce Lee character in real life, and just said that he had quote-unquote Iron Fist as if he was going to become the next version of Iron Fist. When Marvel created the Iron Fist character in the comics in the 1970s, it was based on a Bruce Lee movie. So it's a bit of a full circle moment like, oh yeah, Bruce Lee, he would have been an Iron Fist inside the MCU, like a real character who existed and became Iron Fist. Really hoping that they do Shang-Chi versus Iron Fist at some point in the future. We know that they're doing Shang-Chi 2, but it's not going to be till after Secret Wars with the way they're going right now. The person who directed the Shang-Chi movie is actually directing Spider-Man Brand New Day. So Marvel just decided that way more important for them to get a new Spider-Man movie out than for them to do a Shang-Chi sequel. That's how that wound up happening. Marvel does love them some Spider-Man, and they need all the safe bets that they can get right now, trying to turn the ship around, like turn interest back around in Marvel just in general. When it comes to this new version of Black Panther during the trailer, I think the way they keep this in canon with the MCU is they just say this takes place during a radically different period in history so that it doesn't bump up against what they're doing right now in the live-action MCU, Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars, and Black Panther 3. Clearly, this person doesn't look like Shuri at all, and it doesn't look like the young T'Challa, T'Challa Jr., the son of the previous T'Challa.
My name is Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa.
But the whole Black Panther suit, the technology that they're using, everything like the tank in the background that they're attacking here in the trailer, doesn't seem that different from current Wakandan technology. As far as we know right now, Shuri is going to be the main Black Panther during Avengers Doomsday. There was a behind-the-scenes breakdown that I did. They started releasing some stuff from behind the scenes. Somebody leaked it. The spoiler bros are totally on this. We can blame it on Mark Ruffalo. Like, just say that he's behind the scenes posting all these pictures from them actually filming the movie, and you can actually see Shuri's armored Black Panther suit boot in the frame. So she's there with the other characters. You see the Fantastic Four meeting the new Avengers, Avengers with a Z, and you see Torres, which means that Sam Wilson's Avengers are also there with them too, or whatever part of the team has formed together from these different groups. It seems like they're on the Fantastic Four's ship, just based on the design language, or somebody else's ship. My assumption is that we see an alternate version of Black Panther, and like we saw the Damson Idris looking one in the concept art, that was for Secret Wars though, not for Avengers Doomsday. So I actually do think that we will see another adult multiverse Black Panther at some point, or some time-displaced Black Panther, another version in some way during Secret Wars. Then, because we know that Marvel is rebooting the MCU, I just did a much bigger video about Kevin Feige's big Marvel Phase 7 big reboot panel that he did a week ago before Comic-Con happened, so I'll link it at the end of this and down in the description below. Black Panther 3 takes place after they do that soft reset of singular timelines, the way that Kevin Feige talked about it. Really complicated way of talking about a soft reboot. One of the biggest early theories is they'll just use that to age up the young T'Challa Black Panther, T'Challa Jr., and he will take the mantle from Shuri at some point at the end of Black Panther 3. But I think at the beginning of Black Panther 3, Shuri is still meant to be the Black Panther. But by the end of that movie, they will make it much clearer what the succession actually is and when that next Black Panther will show up to take the mantle from her. That's still going to be years away, but that's why you're seeing Damson Idris post all these videos, people interviewing him about becoming the next Black Panther. Like, yes, it sounds like he's talking to Marvel behind the scenes. Doesn't actually mean that it's going to be him. Like, doesn't guarantee anything. It just means that he's talking to them about being the next Black Panther. When it comes to live-action Iron Fist and Defenders stuff, it sounds like Daredevil's army that he was putting together at the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 1 are the Defenders characters and a couple other new characters they introduced during Daredevil Born Again Season 1, like the new version of White Tiger taking the mantle from her uncle. The way they've talked about that series, Vincent D'Onofrio said that they do have their plan for Season 3, like it's already been mapped out, but the show hasn't officially been renewed for Season 3, at least according to him. So it sounds like they're going to wrap up a whole lot of this Mayor Kingpin storyline or resolve it in a big way by the end of Season 2, but they could always change it. They could push that into Season 3. Generally, part of the big reset that Marvel did behind the scenes is to make the TV shows and the movies work the way that they used to when they were doing the original Marvel Netflix series and the ABC stuff like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all the stuff they were doing with Ghost Rider on that, where like technically all that stuff was canon to the MCU, but only in the lightest of ways. There wasn't like a ton of crossover all the time. And they're pulling way back on stuff. So like Daredevil Born Again is meant to be like their flagship show. So a lot of this Defenders stuff, they're just doing through that, which I think makes sense for them. If they're going to pull way back on the number of TV shows, they're not going to do like a billion different ones for every single character. Why not just use your biggest show to introduce all your characters? And because originally during the Netflix era, they introduced a lot of those Defenders characters through Daredevil, it just makes sense that they do that again. They reintroduce them in the MCU through Daredevil Born Again, the new version of the show. When we found out they were bringing all the Defenders characters back, it seemed like they were just bringing back the original actors. but there was still a lot of questions about Finn Jones, Danny Rand, Iron Fist coming back. Would they recast him? Would they do something completely different with the character? Are they just going to bring back Colleen Wing as Iron Fist?
I've got your back. So does Misty, so does Jessica.
Now it actually sounds more likely that they might let him come back in some way, but there might be some other future person to take over the mantle of Iron Fist. Like he might not be Iron Fist forever. Jessica Henwick almost came back during the Shang-Chi movie. She was going to play a completely different character in the MCU. She said the main reason why she declined that role because she had to pick between whatever that role was going to be in the other Matrix movie that she was making, the Matrix Revolutions movie. She said it was because if she played this brand new character, then she wouldn't be able to come back as her Colleen Wing, and it sounded like at the time she expected that they would eventually bring her back, and now that's actually coming to pass. Like we're actually seeing that play out with Jessica Jones, the other Defenders characters, so she was actually correct in choosing that. You have chosen wisely, now you can come back as Colleen Wing in the MCU. What I really hope, though, if they're going to do more Iron Fist eventually in the next several years, is they eventually just do a Heroes for Hire show, and that's where you spin off with Luke Cage and Iron Fist. If you're not going to do like a completely separate Luke Cage show and a completely separate Iron Fist show from Daredevil Born Again, like they're not going to do 10 seasons of Daredevil Born Again. So at some point, they have to do other street-level based shows. If you're going to be doing a whole bunch of Defenders-related stuff, it just makes sense that Heroes for Hire like be the biggest title that you have not done yet. Use that as the title of the show. But everyone post all your reactions in the comments below. I will do at least one big episode video for all 4 of these Iron Fist Black Panther episodes that they release on Friday. I don't know what time that's going to release, so just look out for my video at some point on Friday or Saturday morning, depending on when they release those. Make sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that. That's usually the easy way to not forget stuff. Now that we're starting to get all these Defenders characters back, I'm going to have to get some more Luke Cage t-shirts and some more Iron Fist t-shirts, so we'll see about that. I just did a full Easter eggs breakdown of the entire Fantastic Four movie. Click here for that, and click here for that big Marvel Phase 7 panel that Kevin Feige did, the big reboot that he was talking about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.